Want to be a brand new you? Try out our respecification machine.
Hello right bags, it's Jade. Welcome to an Outer Worlds guide video. Today we're taking a look at respecking and making a perfect character. I'm going to show you how to respec and some of the quirks you can have with also perks, attributes, and basically explaining a lot of the game. You'll find the respec machine here on this gantry inside your ship. There's a ladder that takes you up from the main docking bay here area, just above your workshop, or if you follow the stairs, you'll come across a ladder that will take you down as well. Once you've got access, it will cost you 500 units to use, and it will start getting more expensive every time you use it. The second time of using it, it's going to cost me 1,000, and you can see the third time using it, 2,000 units. Fourth time, 4,000 units. As you can see, it gets more and more expensive. So you're still going to be a little bit limited on how you use this, depending on how many units you manage to get. Just some quick useful information, the max level that your player can progress to is level 30. Each time you level up, you'll get 10 skill points, and every other skill point, you'll also get a perk point. I'm going to break these down as well a little bit after we've gone through the reset system. But it's worth pointing that out because it effectively means you've got over 300 skill points to put into your character eventually. But let's start off with finalising one at least respec. Now I've got a fair amount. I completed all of the side missions in the first world, and as you can see, it's given me a total of 70 skill points just for completing the first world. That's with every side quest though. Now obviously it will depend on how you're playing the game. If you're kind of rushing through, you may not get that many points. It just depends on how many XP kills you're getting, locations you've discovered, and of course how many of the side quests you complete. Little last warning, if you do respec but you don't actually put the skill points into your character and then you go back to the machine and respec again, it won't give you any warning. It will still start charging you double what you had. It seems a bit stupid, but I nearly did pay a second time for respecking while I was trying stuff out. And of course you can load up a save, or make sure you save again before you respec, just in case you do make any mistakes or you regret something. So once you get your 10 skill points, you can start leveling up however you want. But the respec option is what we're really looking at, not just necessarily a guide on what to do with leveling. You can really focus and put stuff into stuff that's been working for you. Now, when you get one of the stats over level 50, you can see they're all increasing by different amounts. Liar is about to hit 50. I can now individually increase that just on its own. And it's exactly the same for every single skill. Increase one of the stats to 50, and instead of sinking points in all three, you can sink points in just one. Now I say that like it's a good thing. You're wondering, what? I was just getting points in all three earlier. Well, it does max out at level 50. Once you get 2 skills at level 50 within a tree, that's when you have to start leveling them up individually. But it does have more benefits. You can really hone in on builds, specifically what ones you really like your playstyle. And for that reason, it makes sense that you should always get 2 skills up to level 50 within a tree before you start putting individual points in it. Otherwise, what you'll find is it's going to cost you more points leveling up individually if you did start putting points into just one of them when it hit 50 straight away. Even though I've got science at 41, because I've hit level 50 in 2 other of skills, that's it. I'm going to have to start doing it individually. For my build, I've been using a lot of assault rifles and plasma rifles, and I absolutely loved my heavy weapon that I managed to find on the first world, a huge massive chain gun. So this is really nice, and this is how you can really start customizing exactly what build it is. If you're someone that never uses handguns, you don't have to worry about having to sink points into a handgun, when you can get a more specialist skill by putting them into long guns or heavy. Also, don't forget that every 20 levels you will get a bonus. You can see the bonuses on the right hand side for every single skill and what they'll offer your build. Now bear in mind, whenever you've got anything that gives you a boost in any of your skills, i.e. a piece of armour, it will list it at the bottom exactly how much you get. And then on the left hand side where the skill points are, you can see it's greyed out and it's got the adjusted value. So you always know what armour and what items are giving you that extra bonus and what is your baseline stats. This gives me a skill bonus of block 5. You can see at the moment it's only 12. And you know what's going to happen next. We'll take a look, and it now says I've got a block bonus of 17. This does take into account any flaws that you might get as well. That's what the number in red is. Also, what affects this stat is any consumables that you eat that have negative side effects. Maybe when the best bits have worn off, like alcohol or caffeine, you always get some sort of negative effect afterwards. So that's what the red number is. Basically your status effects. And yes, this is pretty simple stuff, but I want to make sure you're really informed. And just in case you don't know what flaws fully are, they're basically in-game decisions that will happen as you're playing. Take too many body shots and you'll get a flaw that affects you negatively. Now you don't have to choose it, but if you do, you get an extra perk point to spend. So you can weigh up how much of a flaw it's going to do damage to you, or the long time effects, and whether or not you want an extra perk point. I've got the concussion flaw because I think I took too many headshots, and it's basically reduced all of my mind skills by 1 to 3, possibly even more than that. So it's a pretty serious one, and I really regret actually choosing it just to get a perk point. As you can see, it will flash up during the game and you'll just simply be left with a choice. Accept the flaw, get a perk point, or ignore the flaw and get no extra perk points. Acrophobia, which I've just got here, it basically reduces my temperament and my perception skills. If you're wondering why you would ever choose to have one of these when you don't necessarily need them, well, there could be a lot of skills that you just don't actually like or use. So it might be worth it to you taking that perk point and missing out on some of the skills bonuses. I mentioned you've also got the consumables that give you negative effects, but they also give you positive ones, so make sure you're paying attention to your build. If you're someone that's using a lot of mind skills, you want to be making sure you're having lots of caffeine products. If you're someone who likes a lot of melee, you may be wanting more alcohol. There are various different food items, lots of beverages. Really take a look at them and see what they can offer to your skill bonuses. A lot of them are quite short-lived, they're not going to last forever, but it's still worth paying attention. Good one for melee attackers is the Dervish Mist, which gives you an extra 20% weapon melee attack speed. If you take a quick look back at your skills, it will list any non-permanent effects on the bottom right hand side. Exactly the same spot where your armour shows up as well. Dodge has got 4 extra because of the sugary drink, and a -3 for permanent concussion. And if you take a look at your summary, you'll also remember see your attributes. These are the ones that you gave at the start of the game, and pretty much they're set in concrete. You will not be able to change your attributes while playing the game, which is a bit of a shame because I actually ended up playing a whole complete different playstyle than I initially thought I would. I've been using a sniper rifle and I've been going for headshots, and it's been pretty pointless because I didn't put enough points into the attributes at the beginning, and so I've got a negative effect or negative penalty. I'm mentioning this here because if you put some points into your skills but still wondering why you're maybe not doing as much damage as you wanted to, or the skill just isn't as effective, look at the summary and look at your attributes and see if you accidentally didn't put enough points into the playstyle that you thought you would go for. I'm going to be doing a proper playthrough guide with the attributes and showing you different character builds and really what you can achieve with different styles. Finishing off our little guide on making the perfect character, let's take a look at perks. Every 2 levels you're going to get a perk, and you do receive extra perks if you accept the flaws that we spoke about earlier. So potentially you could have as many perks as possible, or you could even possibly max them out if you accept lots of flaws within the game. Your companion also does have lots of perks as well, and so you can level them up as you progress. By the time I completed the first world, I had 5 perks that I could spend. That was a mixture of 4 from leveling up and 1 from a flaw that I accepted. I'm not necessarily going to go through builds with the perks either. I think that's up for you guys to experiment and try, or wait for my specific videos that I'm going to be doing on building certain classes and certain playstyles. But at least know the basics. Your perks are going to give you bonuses that will all go to your overall skill levels too, and it means that you'll be able to pretty much home in on your perfect character that you want. And of course these do reset when you respec, so if you have made a mistake with a perk, you can go ahead and redo it however you want. So to recap, you will find the respec machine on the ship after you've done a few missions. Simply go up to it and spend the 500 units you want to go and respec. It's going to double in price every time you use it. You get 300 skill points for you to use. These can be put into any of the skills you have, but they will soft cap max at level 50, and then you can start individually leveling them up. Make sure you fill up at least 2 skill points from every skill tree before you start individually leveling, otherwise it's going to cost a lot more. Items and consumables are going to give you bonus effects that affect your skills, so it's worth checking and making sure you're taking the right types of food and the right beverages to give you a bit of a heads up. Obviously, armor and weapons will also give you effects for your skills, and don't forget that flaws are big bad news if you are not paying attention. Weigh up whether or not you really want an extra perk, and you get the perks every 2 levels. Your companions also get perks. So I think that's pretty much a good roundup of everything you need to know on respecking your character, making the perfect character. Hopefully this guide's helped you. If it has, make sure you like the video and look out for more Outer World guides. Really enjoying this game. I play a lot of survival games, a lot of broken survival games. It's so nice playing a game that actually works. Hope you've enjoyed it too. Also, if you've got a moment, go and follow me on Mixer. The link will be in the description box down below. This is where I'm going to be live streaming the Outer Worlds a lot more, not on YouTube. The videos are going to be coming to YouTube only. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys later on.